Welcome to today's webinar. We're glad that you're here today with us. It's called Beyond the...
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's webinar, Beyond the Basics, using Church360 Unite to make an advanced church website. We're glad that you've joined us today as we take a look at Church360 Unite. My name's Dave Farnham, and I'm going to be taking us through a little bit of an introduction here as we begin. You'll see my contact information there on the screen in front of you. So you can always get in touch with me if you have questions along the way, or even after this webinar. Feel free to reach out to me and I'll be glad to help you. Now, also joining us today and actually hosting us as we're going through the software is Peter Frank. And Peter Frank is a senior manager of marketing here at Concordia Publishing House. A little bit of housekeeping as we go through the webinar today. Approximately 50 minutes for presentation, 10 minutes for questions at the end. You can certainly ask questions throughout. So go ahead and put those questions in the chat area throughout, and I'll be glad to answer those during the webinar. The recording is going to be shared with you even after this is completed. So know that you will have this as another video that you can watch at a later time. And even for a few of our participants that signed up but were not able to attend for one reason or another. Now, Concordia Technology Solutions is part of the Church Administration Division of Concordia Publishing House, and we've been developing software for churches since 1984. A few assumptions that we've kind of made as we come into this webinar today, that you know the basics of church websites, but you probably don't know how to code, and that you're looking to improve your web presence. So right now, I want you to tell me just a little bit about yourself. What I'm going to do is just launch a couple of questions that you'll see in front of you, and you'll be able to answer those questions here in just a minute. So give me just a second to launch these, and you'll see them here in just a moment. Sorry about that. Took me just a second to get to there. So hopefully you'll be able to see that on your screen. All right. Well, it looks like we got about a 50-50 split on that. I'm going to ask another question here. So hang on just a second here. I'm going to ask one other question. So what would you consider yourself in Church360? What level? All right. Well, looks like we've got some that are consider themselves a good number that consider themselves a newbie, and some of the other ones consider yourself an advanced user. So it's a good it's a good mix of people. So we'll know kind of how to make the balance as we kind of go through here. And I appreciate you actually participating in that poll there. So let's go through kind of what we're looking at here in Unite today. Church360 Unite is a part of the suite of Church360, and there are actually two other products in the suite of products. They are the 360 Members, which is a membership management tool, and that is really covering the areas of people, attendance, and offerings. But there's also one called Ledger. Now that is our church financial accounting software. So as we go through here today, even, I believe that Peter is probably going to touch on how that the 360 Members may dovetail in with the Unite. And I'll let him cover that as we go through through some things here. So Church360 Unite, it is a church website builder. And it is, of course, a website, but it's more than a website. It's also a blogging tool. There's also a member hub. There's file sharing. It's calendaring and mass emailing. There's even more than mass emailing, and I'm going to even let Peter share a little bit more about that. Maybe some new components that we've added in recently. So many different aspects to the website to see displayed here today in this webinar. So I'm so glad that you're here in attendance with us. So all of our themes in the Unite are mobile accessible, and it will sync with our church management software of the 360 members and/or the Shepherd Staff software. A custom domain and email, they are available. Now, it depends on the package that you choose. It may come included with that, or you can purchase them. The support and training are also included. And I think this is really key. Whenever you're starting with some type of new website, the important thing is, how are you going to learn everything? Well, we provide that initial training. It's one-on-one training that's included with our Unite startup. And then also, not only that, you'll have a training library, video library that you'll be able to access and see all kinds of different trainings that are available. And then beyond that, you have support, which means that you can call us, you can connect in with us through email. There is also a help system built in. So a number of ways. We don't want to just leave you out there and say, hey, thanks for joining us, but now you're on your own. That's not the case here with us, and we don't want it to be, because we're in partnership with you to make your website all that it can be and to support you. A little bit of the outline today that we're going to have. We're going to do a little bit of an overview of the basics, but we're going to be looking at the themes and styles as well as advanced page editing, because that's kind of what we're focusing on, some advanced skills. And then we're going to look at some of the communication skills. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, the question and answer period. So with any further ado, let me go ahead and pass the baton over to Peter, and he's going to take it from here. So bear with me just a moment, and I'm going to pass this over to Peter. And here he is for us. Thank you,
Thanks
Peter.
so much, Dave. I appreciate the introduction. Thanks for getting us started. And as soon as I get those controls, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, I had a second just to get there. Sorry.
No problem.
My mouse wasn't working too well for me.
That's just fine.
Yeah. So sorry about that. Here we go. So it should be coming to you anytime here.
All right. There we go. All right. Switch it over to this screen. So
I apologize, everyone.
No worries at all. You should be able to see my screen now. And what this is this is our Christ Community Church, kind of our training site. It's a fictional congregation. I built this website completely in Unite during a live training that I hosted, and the recordings are shared in our resource center. So if you're interested in how I got to this point, and you want to get into the nitty-gritty details, I've got all of that available in our resource center at resources.concordiatechnology.org. I'm going to do a brief overview of where I got to this point, and then we're going to take it a step beyond this. That's the goal for today. Now, this is, while we're talking about advanced uses, I'm not necessarily expecting you to be an advanced user. The tools that Church360 Unite provides allows you to have a more advanced church website without you being an expert user. That's our goal, is that you're not a web designer, you are a church worker, and you're not trained for this. But by having the right tools for the job, you can take your website to that next level. And so, like Dave said in our outline, we're going to do a brief overview, and then we're going to go into some of those advanced tools. So let me just cover the ground right from the beginning with the navigation. We've got a number of different items up here. A basic church website, and what I'm considering to be a basic church website, would essentially be what's under this Pages tab. A basic church website has a navigation and has pages with static content on it. Static meaning you type it in or you upload an image and it displays. And that's it. And I can tell you, I've researched websites for a long time. I built my first church website back in around 1999, 2000, right when the internet was becoming a big thing. And I was just a teenager at my church, and me and another teenager built it, and it still looks decent by today's standards, or I should say, it looked decent by today's standards. It didn't look great by today's standards, but at the time, if I do say so myself, it was a pretty good website. Well, at that time, all we had was the really basic functionality of saying, all right, here's the links, here's the images, and made it look as clean and simple, as nice as possible. Well, a lot of churches are still stuck in that 1999 timeframe where all you have is a few links and a few pages and you're good to go. So that's what I consider basic, and it is really easy to get to that in Unite. You see, what we have here was actually created from an initial template. And so we've got different active menu items. You've got your pages that have a single page there, or your categories, which have multiple pages in the icon. So like in this case, live stream is the category, and worship online, Bible study online, Sunday school online, those are all individual pages. And you can drag and drop and rearrange the order. You can do it as a block and put things in different places. All you have to do is hit save changes, and it'll update every page on your site right there. See, I'm new before live stream, or moved live stream after I move. There you go. Now, I'm not sure what all I have on this page. Oh yeah, there we go. I got all sorts of different styles. This will work out perfectly. So you see that there. I'm going to focus on, I'll actually go back and forth between this and the home page. The home page has a few dynamic aspects to it. We're going to show you a few more. But pages, navigation, that's basic. We also allow you to do things like posts, or in the realm that we call it, it's feeds, and posts are contained within feeds. So for example, under connect and announcements, you can see that we have like the sermon for May 10th. And within that sermon, there's audio files and additional text and a button to download a file. All of that stuff is a little bit more dynamic. I'm going to skip over activity, go to users. We're going to talk about this quite a bit in a little while. You can allow the members of your site to log in and interact on your church website. Well, that's a pretty advanced thing. Most church websites don't allow you to log in and interact, and it almost sounds too complex to try if you're a smaller church. What I'd like to encourage you today is in a basic example of how to allow your members to log in and find some real value without distracting from the rest of your website. But where we're going to start our time today here is under themes. Like Dave mentioned, all of our themes are mobile responsive, and all of our themes are included in your subscription price, meaning you can change at any time and not have to worry about being charged more for that, or think of budgetary issues when you're looking at the appearance of your website. It's all included. And in these different themes, when you click on one, you can see the different presets. And so maybe your color scheme is purple, and you want to see that kind of color scheme. And maybe it's not the exact colors that you have. So right now, our theme is, which one are we using? I don't even remember now. I customize it quite a bit. I believe it is this light theme. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. There we go. Yeah, it is the light theme. I can see it right down here. So light, and then I customized it by going over here to customize. And you can see I put in a different background image. I changed the background color too because I had some transparency in there. Then I put in a banner here, and I changed the accent colors, the link colors, the heading colors, shadow colors, all of that, heading shadow, to make it look the way I did. So this looks different than any other church website. Not only does it have my logo, but it's the different color scheme. Well, the advanced feature that I want to show you for this section is called styles. So styles was a somewhat confusing feature when we first introduced it, but I want to show you what you can do with it. See, before we allowed you to go in and pick when you edited a page and pick how it appears. So let's go to this example page here on our Worship Online page. You see we've got headings and we've got text and we've got a big button right there and then heading 2 and bullet points and all of these other things. Well, all of these have been set up with styles. And before, and on many other church websites, the way you handled it is you'd go into edit and you'd have to, oops, there we go. You'd have to go in, and it looks like I changed some things. You'd have to go in and say, all right, I want this to be X font size, and then I want it to be this color and positioned here. Well, what we allow you to do is select these styles. And so styles go in, and it looks like unique things. So let's see, we'll go in and put in heading 2, and heading 3. We'll do this as heading 4. All right, we'll just put those in right now. I'm going to go ahead and save that and publish it. So the page is tied to the styles, meaning if I want to change the appearance of this, I don't have to go back to the page. I just have to go to the style. And if we go to the home page, you'll notice that I've got this kind of idea there too. On the home page, I have these set up as H3s, heading 3s, and they're this nice orange color. That's great. But what if I want to change it? I've got them here, and I've got them on the other page, and conceivably I could have it on all the other different pages. If I was going in page by page, editing it to change the color, I'd have to be completely consistent, and it would take a lot of time. So with styles, I can go up here to themes and styles, go to my heading 3, and say, I want to make this a different color. Now, I have already copied the color code here. If I go here to this color, and I paste that in, I'm going to go with this kind of teal color instead. Now I can also change the style a little bit. Maybe I want to go up to 1.5. Maybe I don't want it to quite be extra bold, but just bold. I don't know. Let's go extra bold, kind of like that. So I can make that change and just click save. Now it's applying it to my site. When I close out of themes, oops, it's already been updated here. See, now it's the teal color. And if I go here to live stream worship online, it's the teal color there too. So think about that for a second. How easy it is to update your entire church website into a new appearance rather quickly. You don't have to do too much. You just change those styles to make it work. And so that's why I call it a little bit of an advanced tool. You are creating a style guide, almost a branding guide for your church, and then applying it on your site. And so if you set it up the right way to begin, and really all you're doing is just applying the appearance to it, you could do some pretty dynamic things. So that's the first thing I want to show you in terms of changing styles. But let's take a look at this here. You see this kind of looks like a button. It doesn't work as well when you have that wide of a space. If we go back to home though, this, oops, give it a second. I don't know why it's moving so slowly today. There we go. So you see they look like buttons, but they're actually just text. So you don't have to create an image or anything like that. This one here, we'll go and edit it. When you click on this, you can see the call to action style. So call to action is a marketing term for buttons. It's asking the viewer to do something. And so if I wanted to change this to a call to action, that's all I'd have to do. Now, that doesn't look that great. I probably wouldn't do it. I'll just reset all my things. But let me show you how you create that. We go up here to themes and styles. Block styles means it's an entire paragraph. we've got this down here. Let's just go ahead and add one. If I go in here and say, I want this to be a green CTA, I will go in and click block. This is the part of the text that's the example. Let's go ahead and add a border to this. So I'm going to say go up and solid. There you go. There's that border. Or maybe I don't want a border, but I just want a background color. So we'll go here to background color, and we'll type in that 39998E. Did that wrong. There we go. So now I've got that teal. Well, the color on the text really needs to be white so you can see it on that. And now let's start getting some spacing. So padding is the stuff on the inside, and margin should be the space on the outside. But oops, let's see. Whoops, why did that do that? Well, I changed something wrong. Border is 0. Margin, let's go ahead. And then let's go back to something changed with my color on the background. Why did that? It's always fun when something doesn't work quite right on the webinar. We'll give that a quick second. Let me refresh that. Something got stuck in the middle of it while I was working on it. Let's go back here again. Sometimes you got to refresh it. This is complex processes here because it's updating your site live while you're doing it, or at least it will once you save it. So let me go ahead and, yeah, something with that padding. All right, well, we'll make this work anyways. Like my background color when I add the padding in. And I'm going to do the same thing with the margins. We'll go up to 1.375. And this is just allowing some different spacing in. Go ahead and click save, and let's take a look at it. There we go. So you see, with some combination of margin and padding, colors, you can make a nice looking button there. And if you wanted to make the font size a little bigger, that's always a good idea too. That almost is too big, but we'll take it. All right, we'll save that. So now I got a nice button that I could use elsewhere. So that's another way to do the style. That's how I created these. And if I wanted to, I could change those colors and stuff, just like I did with the heading 3. We'll use that in a little while. Those are just a few things with themes and styles, but I want to get into advanced page editing next. So the example that we're going to use today, because it's coming up, I should say it's probably already here for many of you, but the idea of confirmation classes. New classes always start in the fall. Or I shouldn't say always either. I know some churches have some exceptions, but the majority of confirmation classes start in the fall, and this is when you're thinking about how do you put the word out. Now, during this pandemic, that's even tougher. Like, how are you going to conduct these classes, especially if you're a church without a school? If you're like my church and school, we're thinking about this quite a bit. And so classes all fall together. But if you're a church that doesn't have a school attached to it, this is probably one of your concerns, is how do we handle these in-person classes? Well, Unite has a number of tools that can help you. First, I'm going to go and create a page. We're going to go, and I should walk you through. You go up to pages, you go to the far right and say add page. And then I click on this blank page right here. Let's click create. Now I can type in my page, confirmation class. There we go. And I'm going to put this under, let's see, what else do I have here? Ministries. Yeah, we'll put that right up between children and youth. All right, we'll close out of that. There's confirmation class. Here we go. So I'll go into the edit page experience and show some of our more complicated things. You see, confirmation class now has just one cell, but we've made it so you can add as many cells or rows as you want. So if I want to add a row to the bottom, there's a row, there's a row, there's a row. I've got 4 rows now where I can put stuff. If I want to add a couple of columns in here, I can add it from the right-hand side and then drag and drop and figure out exactly how much space I want to give each thing. And so that looks good. Divided it by 3 or thereabout. And then if we'll go ahead and save this. We'll publish this. I just want to call this confirmation and change the link to be confirmation. I can do both of those up here as well. Click publish. Now you'll notice I changed it, but this here still says confirmation class, even though in the navigation it says confirmation. That's because this is a text box or a rich text editing experience, if you want to get fancy. When I go in here and click the edit button, I can now type in and add different styles. So I can go say, here's my heading 1. Or I can delete everything and go and insert an image. We'll click insert image. We'll go and upload it. I've got a nice little banner that I stole from cph.org. Is it stealing when you take it from yourself? I don't know. We'll go ahead and put that in here. Select it. There we go. Well, that's a nice looking confirmation image. I'll save that. Now, if I want to add some different things, that's a pretty basic thing. What if we wanted to turn that into a carousel? Meaning, what if we wanted it to rotate between different images? Now, there's a lot of good reasons why you might want to do it. Some might just be purely aesthetics. We can do that too. What I have to do, though, is I go click on the settings button, edit cell type, change the cell type from rich text to carousel, and click change. Now I get this image. Whoops. I just got a notice saying my computer's overloaded, so I'm going to turn off my webcam. Sorry about that. Never had that before, but apparently was having trouble. So I'm going to go without my webcam for a little while. You guys don't need to see me while I'm doing this anyways. So I've changed this into a carousel cell type. Now when I click the edit button, it lets me choose multiple images. So the first image that I'm going to go here, I add image and click select, and there's the one I want. So I'm just going to click add. So there you can see a little preview for it. And now I'm going to go click add another one, click select, upload this image, and I've got another one out here that we'll use. There's that one. Click add. And we'll auto advance every 5 seconds. Go ahead, click save. And now I can go ahead, click publish to see what it looks like. After I get out of edit mode, you can see there, rotate through it like that. It'll also auto advance. Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know if it's as useful here, but as you saw on the home page, there's some good uses for that. If I go ahead and click edit page, we'll go back here. Let me show you some advanced uses of this. So we can say confirmation. This here's the heading. I'll show you what this looks like. Confirmation starts soon. Register today. Link it to a different page. Just put it to the home page and open in another tab. So what I can do is I can turn this image, which right now is just a slideshow, and have it be a link with text on it. So let's take a look at the next one. We can say sign up today. Confirmation starts September 7th. Link it. Unite page. We'll just what to expect. Add in some test things right now just to show you what this heading and caption looks like. We'll click save, publish, take out my edit mode, and there you go. See, it adds this overlay. So without even editing the image, I've got some nice text on here that tells exactly what we're talking about. And when I click on it, it'll link to a different page. Now, maybe not the link we want it to go to. It doesn't really tie in with confirmation yet, but it works out really well. So within just a few clicks, you can have a really professional looking banner. And it looks good on mobile devices too. Let's see here. Go like that. You see how that looks? Now I'll probably want to go to a little bit more of a square image if I did this, but that doesn't look bad, even with that little white space. So that's something to think about too as you're going through this. Make sure there's enough height in there to look good on both mobile and on desktop. All right, let's do some more advanced stuff. I can go in here and click edit, and even within the rich text editor, there's some things that I might want to do that are a little bit more advanced. So for example, I might want to, like you saw before, add an audio file. So we've got a little button over here, insert media. Oh, that's not the one I want. I want to say insert asset, and there's an audio. There we go. And I don't have any audio right now on this page, so I'm going to go ahead and upload it. This is also from cph.org, an audio file. Go, click select. And there we have an audio file. Now, I'm guessing you'll probably hear it when well, let me go ahead and save it. Publish it there. That easy. All you have to do is select, in this case, an MP3 and plug it in there. Now, you might want to add some copy to describe what that file is. And you can say, all right, here is an introduction to confirmation. And you can choose your styles and all of that. I wouldn't do the green CTA right now, but I might do the heading. And, oops. If I wanted to do that beforehand, we can, oops, clicking too fast. We'll change that to heading 3. Go ahead and insert that audio again. There we go. Click save, and that's good to go. Now you'll notice that it looks a little bit different here than it does when I publish it. That's just how the browsers work. Different browsers handle it in different ways. So my default on my browser makes it appear like that. But it still looks good. Now the one I was starting to go to before is the video one where you can embed from a different site. So we have all sorts of confirmation videos on our YouTube channel. And if I'm opening up one here because I had the link to it. There's 2 ways you can do video. I'm going to show you what they look like. The first one, oh, too loud. All right, so there is a video. If I go here and click share and click embed, I get this code. Now you might be saying, whoa, Peter, no code. I'm not an expert here. What's with the code? Well, any kind of media site out there now, like YouTube or Vimeo, allows you to take some specific code. You don't have to know what it means. You just have to know where to get it. Copy it, or click this copy button to copy it. You go back into Unite, into this rich text field, and there is under, I'm zoomed in too far. Let's see. We'll go out of edit page, go back in. Click here. You see this little button, HTML block. I know it's a little bit smaller on the screen now. It's the very last one. Zooming in sometimes hides it. Well, I can paste that code right here as an HTML block. Click save, and there it appears. Now, if I wanted to change the spacing, I could. I can even drag this down here, give it all the spacing it needs. Well, that's not bad. I could also go into this one here, click edit, and use this insert media. Now, when I click insert media, all it's asking for is a link. Well, if I paste my link, oops, that's not the one I want. If I paste the link of my YouTube video, oops, I dragged it, sorry. I am just all over the place here. It copy pasted it for me. Let me go ahead and reset all this. I'll just go back here a second. We'll go here and click edit. I'll paste that code one more time. Sorry about that. And then I'll go down here, drag this over, click edit. And instead of embedding a link, or instead of embedding code, I'm going to go in here and click embed media and paste my YouTube link right there and click save. And it does the same thing. So I don't have to know about sharing and embedding code and doing all of that fun stuff. And I can shrink it down to be the same size. Now, what I like about this one is that it doesn't crop it at all. It uses some default functionality to just do the full width. See, this one overhangs, this one puts it within the spot. When I click publish and go out of edit page, you can see the difference there. This one doesn't look as great. Now, you also have the ability to modify that one because you have access to the code. But I recommend just going that other route. Look at how nice and clean that is. So that's a couple advanced page editing. Let me show you one more thing. Often in confirmation classes, you would hand out worksheets. I remember that from my confirmation class. The binder I had of worksheets and memory work and all that other fun stuff. Well, when you're online, you don't have that luxury of being able to just take a piece of paper, but you can share a PDF or something like it. And that one is one of the most frequently asked questions. How do I add a file download to my site? Well, it's pretty easy. We'll go here and click edit. This is a rich text cell again. Download worksheet 1. I'm going to go ahead and change it to a link. And where typically you would link to any other site or page or feed within your site, right here it says a file for download. That's it. Click a file for download, and then I'll upload it. So click upload. Here's a PDF, lesson 1 journal. Got it. Add. Now it's a link. It's kind of small. People won't see that it is easy. This now is where you go in here, change your style to the green CTA. Now the color is a little bit off because it's a link. We can change some of that. That goes into that other link that we had before. If we go up here and publish, go down, down here, click publish, go out of edit page. That's when you go up to themes, customize, and say, I want my link color to be white. There we go. Click Save Changes. That should fix it. Yeah, there we go. Download worksheet 1. And when I click on it, it takes me to a PDF. So all of these different, in this case, teaching tools within Confirmation, different file types, you can add them within your page. That's pretty exciting. All right, let's talk about some communication tools next. We're going to go back to our Unite site. So that's all fine and good. You put a page up there, everyone has access to it. But Unite is better than that because you can make it so that not everyone has access to everything. So it looks like when I went out there, it took me out of editing mode. Let me refresh. There we go. We have a thing in Church360 Unite called groups. If I go here to pages and I click add page, one of the page types I can add is called a group. When I click that create page, I get the same process, but instead I'm going to call this Confirmation Class 2020. Now I have what's called what I like to call a site within a site. This group can be managed entirely separate by the group administrator, and that person is just focused on that. So let me click on it and show you what it looks like. So it not only is on my site, but it is a site within a site. I got to change my theme back because my there's a little bit of tweaking I need to do on the colors of the links. Customize. Let's see here. There we go. I was playing with the colors too much. We'll go back here for a second. There's my navigation. So you'll notice that not only do I have my site navigation and my admin navigation, but now I have a group navigation. Well, when I click on edit this group, I get all sorts of settings, kind of like my website settings, but for just this group. So I've got a title, I can put in a description. When I link to it from other pages, that's where that description comes into play. So I'll just say, this is my sample confirmation class group description. There we go. But I can also add pages. So maybe one of my pages is called downloads. Add page, select, oops, check the box. Now downloads is over here. And I also have permissions available. So I can say, okay, only Unite users or everyone gets the home page, only group members gets to go in the discussion and see the events, and only group leaders can see the members. And then say, only people I invite can join the group. So click update. And now every one of these pages has a different setting for who can see it. Now, if you're used to the page editing experience, you're like, well, now I got to learn something new. Don't worry. Everything we just did there can be done here. I can add cells, I can add rows, I can change my types. So let's move this around, edit cell type back to the carousel, click change, go in here, add an image. We'll add my confirmation class image with all the people so excited to be there. Click save, click save. There we go. Now I may need to reduce that so that it doesn't have that black border, although it doesn't look terrible. But there's other things I can do here. So I mentioned members before. Well, who is the members of the group? Right now it's just me. But with Church360 Unite, you can invite users. I mentioned that briefly before. Up here in the Users tab, you have the ability to invite your entire membership roster to join in on your website. Well, where are you getting that information? That goes to what Dave mentioned before. You can get it from Church360 members. Like that's where this is coming from. It says so right up here. You can also get it with Church360 members is our church management software. Another one of our church management software is the Shepherd staff. You can sync with Shepherd staff to get your people in here. The other thing you can do is you could just add them manually. If you go down here and click add people, you can type in their first name, last name, email. You can even download the template and import it as a CSV and upload all your people at once. Then what you have to do is invite them. And so you select the people. They have to have an email address for you to invite them. But you just select the people and click change their role and change it to user. And click update. Now they'll get an email. Now these people I already invited. They're fake people, so they didn't actually click on it. But there's more you can do once you invite them. You can add them in to you can add them to the group, but you can also send mass emails. You can send mass text messages. So down here under Communications tab, you select your people who have opted in, and then say send email or send text. Really powerful stuff. I've got some videos on each of those, so I'm not going to go through it today, but just think about the possibilities when you as an administrator can send an email or a text to everybody in your church who's opted into it. All right, let's go back to the group. What this means here, I'm under members. I can go in and add people who have been invited to join Unite. So I can add Suzanne as a member. I can add Sally Baxter as a member. Nikki Barnes as a member. All of them can join my confirmation group. Well, maybe actually Nikki, as I look at the picture, she looks a little bit older. I can say she is actually a group leader. And now Nikki can do the same things I can do in the group. She can't do the same things I can do on the website. She's just a group admin. So there's all of these possibilities for how you can utilize these communication tools. So one more I want to show you before we wrap up. If you go here to events, events just shows a calendar. Well, let's go ahead and add a new event. We're going to call this confirmation class session in classroom 2. We'll type in classroom, right? Starts on September. When did we say that started? 7th. So yeah, we'll do the 7th, Monday, 7 to 8. And let's say this repeats every single week on Monday until the end of the fall. I can add a description. Join us for confirmation class. I can invite people, which are only people in my group. And I can set a reminder 1 day before, 1 hour before, 1 week before. And click create event. Oh, excuse me. These post-lunch webinars are always a little bit tough. All right, here we go. There's the confirmation class. Let's actually start it. If I click on it, I can then edit it. Let's start it on a Friday. And say this event repeats, let's just say every weekday. I remember that I would have a confirmation class. It would be all day, every day for 1 week. That was a lot of work, but I got it done quickly. Update event. All right, let's go back to the calendar. Oops. There we go. Oh, it looks like I just updated that event. That'll work though. Let's go back to our home page for this group. And then I'll click Edit Page. I'm going to change this cell type to be a calendar cell type. And then when I click Edit, oops, it doesn't look like it's showing my calendars yet. That's probably because of my permission levels. Let me do a quick refresh. Sometimes it has to update that way, but I'm guessing it's because of my permission levels. Let's see, we'll go back to edit this group. And everyone can see events. And edit page, edit this. There it is, confirmation 2020. I forgot that in order for a calendar to be embedded, it has to have a public setting because you don't want it to just disappear when somebody without the right permission shows up. So we'll add that on here, click save draft. Then go to edit page, so there you go. So I get a little calendar in there that tells me about the upcoming schedule. So you could use this to post different homework assignments or other activities that are going on. A lot of different options there, really. All right, so I think that's about it. There's plenty of other tools, but we did an overview of the basics. We talked about themes and styles. I showed a style guide. Go ahead and turn on my webcam again. I showed a number of advanced page editing options, including adding a carousel, adding an image, adding a video from a link, video from embed code. I showed you how to create groups, invite users, add content to the pages, all of these fun things that take Unite a few steps away from basic and put it into an advanced church website. So now it goes, well, it'll go back to Dave first, but Dave's going to lead us into a Q&A time period. And I would love it. I know we don't have a huge group today, but we do have several people on the line. And if you have any questions for us, please go ahead and put them in the chat. But I may have missed some things too. So Dave, if you've got any questions for me or things that you wanted me to show, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter and let you take it away.
All right. Well, I'm back here. Hopefully you'll be able to see me here shortly. So, and see my screen as well. So the Church360 Unite is, you can start a free trial if you haven't already done so. So that can be done at 360unite.com, and feel free to start a free trial there. You'll have 30 days to do a lot of the things that you saw Peter display for us today, and you can do that for yourself. So yeah, I'm excited to see what all you all might be able to come up with yourself. And along the way, during that free trial, if you have questions, certainly reach out to us here. We would be glad to help you with any questions that you have during that trial. It is exciting to see, like, learning more about the groups area. I think that more and more churches, once they get involved and start using that small group area, they will be able to see all the unique possibilities that are available for you. So again, if you do have any questions, throw them in the question area. I'd be glad to answer those questions as we come along. Learning about like carousel, that is just really can bring a lot of life to the pictures that you have. And then also one of some of the last things that Peter showed in regards to the calendaring, being able to put that on the calendar, make it repeating, but also what about the notifications? That is been so helpful. And I'll tell you, some of the things that I've heard from churches over and over again is using this for even groups such as the greeters, the ushers, who serve at maybe once a month, the third Sunday of the month. I know that some of us are not quite meeting back in churches, or it's a very limited, but still we do have people serving in different areas. And this tool within groups and calendaring can be used so effectively for you. So I don't think I see any other questions. What I am going to do is just click on our next slide just to show you. This is some of the pricing that we have that we offer churches. So you will see there is a standard, which is the first two cells over here. On the left-hand side, you have a monthly plan, but you also have a discount with that monthly plan, and you have the annual plan pricing, and then you have a discount. So the way that you apply or being able to get the discount, and that's available for both the standard, advanced, and the premium level, is the having a subscription to our Church360 members software, or having a current subscription to support for shepherd staff. So either one of those will get you that discounted price. Now, we always encourage churches too, hey, why don't you go ahead and sign up for that annual plan, because not only will you get a discount because you have a subscription, but you'll also get an additional discount for paying it annually. So fantastic way to get the most out of your money and be a good steward for the resources that you have. You'll see in the advanced that you receive more storage space, up to 10 gigabytes, as well as up to 6 main administrators, and also is included a custom domain. So even if you have one, you can transfer that over to us. We will pay for your domain and the domain renewal each and every year underneath that plan. Or even if you wanted to get a second domain and point it towards that, you're able to do that with that additional custom domain. And then you can see that with the premium, there is an unlimited amount of storage space. So think about the possibilities there of adding all kinds of videos, whether they are from your services and or whether they are videos from Bible study. Now, since we're doing so many things online, to have that ability to have an unlimited amount of storage space is a great option for churches to be able to have. So again, these are our pricing. You'll find this on our website, 360 Unite, 360unite.com/pricing will get you here. So you can take this and show this to any group at the church that you're presenting to, whether that's a church council or some other grouping that you need to show that to. Again, feel free to contact me if you have any questions. And again, the information there is on your screen, so jot that down, dave.cph.org, or if you put it to software sales at cts.cph.org, there's several of us that get in there and will answer that. So, and that may even be slightly quicker than just sending it to me, but definitely feel free to reach out to me and send me that email as well. I'll be glad to help out. So I don't see any other questions that are popping up here currently.
Dave, there was
But
one question.
I do want to mention. Oh, sure. Yes.
We just got it in. James asked, do styles work separately for different web pages on the website, or are they universal to the whole website? And the styles are universal to the whole website, but if you want different styles, you can create as many as you need and apply them. And so even though they're universal, you could say, all right, well, this is our About Us header, and that's what you title it. You put it on that page, and then it'll only update there. Or if you want to use it, difference between a school style and a church style, you could just name them accordingly and use them as you see fit.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's good. Again, if you have any other questions, put them in there real quick here. We'll be glad to answer that. I'll wait just another 10, 15 seconds, see if I see anything else that comes in here. Peter, if you see anything too, let me know.
Will do. I hear that it's raining out there. All of a sudden, it's loud.
Yep, been a lot of rain right around here recently.
All right. Well, I don't think we've got any more, but I do thank everybody for joining us.
Exactly, I do too. On behalf of Concordia Technology Solutions and our team, we do thank you for being a part of this webinar here today. Reach out to me if I can be of assistance to you. If you currently have our Church360 Unite software, reach out to our software support team. They would be glad to help you in any way with your subscription and questions that you have in regards to the website. So thank you so much for attending today's webinar, and I hope you have the great rest of your week and the rest of your day.